So if you know other people on it, pitchers are on it, other hitters, they're getting money, they're getting all the praise. You know, a lot of people say Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa kept baseball alive after the strike and there was no World Series that year. If you're Barry Bonds thinking, I'm better than these guys, even without the performance enhancers, what are you going to do?
Make yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab. Go create your move.
This episode is brought to you by Subway. What's good, everybody? Welcome to 99 Miles Per Hour Podcast with me, your host, Percy Garner. And today I'm guestless. Well, we got Josh. He'll have to suffice. But I'm still excited about the show because we get to talk about baseball, talk about the Hall of Fame, talking about my Steelers, sorry Josh, and the retirement of Ben Roethlisberger, and who will grace the QB position that Ben has had for 18 years, which I think is the longest tenure in NFL history, unless Aaron Rodgers goes back to the Packers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the episode because after that, we're going to be talking about the Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame, Cooperstown, MLB, tragedy. No, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do, but we'll see what I say. I don't know. But before we get to the show, I do want to obviously thank Subway and the Fitzgerald family for making this podcast possible. We appreciate everything you do for us. And obviously, your food is great. If you don't like Subway, then I don't like you. No. Is that a good slogan?
I like that. I like that one.
No, Subway's good. I've been trying all their new stuff. They got a new sandwich, honey mustard rotisserie chicken melt. I love the melts. They may be a little messy sometimes, but they're amazing. It's all worth it. It's all worth, getting a little bit of stuff on your hand as you pull it out. It reminds me of like being in Philadelphia, getting a Philly cheesesteak. It's all tastes amazing, but it might not be the clean.
But you're wearing half of it by the end. Yeah, okay.
You might need some napkins. But no, Subway, appreciate everything you do for the channel. And glad you have graced us with the sponsorship. Now, I know y'all know I did a scholarship last year for a Dover student. Thank you for the support last year on purchasing merch, because the merch at store.percygunner.com, all that goes directly to funding a scholarship to Dover student. And we need to pick it up, because I don't want to have to pay out of pocket. So I'd appreciate it if if there's, I need to put out some new designs. I get it. But I put out some love over everything. It's not just 99 miles per hour and push. We got some love over everything stuff, and we'll add some designs. But we just ask for continued support. Also, we would love for you guys to thumbs up. Just click it down there. It's really easy. And click subscribe, that big red button on your phone or your computer. Really goes a long way in helping us out on this channel. It's free, really easy, no effort involved, takes 0.2 seconds. We love for you to hit the subscribe button. And also, March 6th is a day that's, something important is going to happen. And that is the Rainbow Connection Telethon. So March 6th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., we're holding our annual telethon this year. That's how we fundraise and keep the lights on for the whole year. And all that 100%, well, I guess that sounds bad. That sounds like the money from the telethon is going to run the Rainbow Connection. That is not correct. 100% of the proceeds that we raise during the telethon go right back into the community, and they support Tuscarawas County residents. So mark your calendars, March 6th, and we have some great auction items. I shared some on WJR this morning, but I want to talk about it again because I'm excited. Those systems, those consoles that your kid wants that it just keeps eluding everyone. It's been out for 2 holidays already and people still don't have them. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Yeah, we'll have those as items in our auction. So participate with a chance to get one. Because it's really hard right now. You got to fight bots. You got to fight COVID. and high demand. So, it's Tuscarawas County now. It's dwindled down a little bit. So it'll be an online auction, and I'm probably going to start it March 2nd, March 3rd-ish. So be ready. Mark your calendars, like I said this morning. Now, let's get into the show, all right? So I'm excited to get into this. Actually, before, I'm going to start with Ben in Pittsburgh. I'm not going to get in baseball because that's going to be the big portion. But I want to say, I was watching First Take this morning, and Stephen A. Smith says, thank God Ben's retiring. But I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say thank you, Ben, for 18 years and giving us Steelers fans something that the Browns haven't had since the 80s. And that's just a stable quarterback. And, I'm not trying to push your buttons, Josh. I'm just stating facts. Pittsburgh, we've been blessed with a stable coach, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, stable quarterback.
Yeah.
And now it's time. The only thing I would say is we don't have anyone to pass the torch to. The Packers had Brett Favre to pass it to.
But
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers is sitting there with Brett Favre.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be sitting there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
come
okay.
September.
I'm not even going to jinx it. All right.
I'll jinx it right here, right now.
I'm seeing the Saints. I'm seeing all this stuff. But the thing I like about Aaron, he's already playing in Wisconsin where it's freezing. So if it comes to Pittsburgh, it's not too much different.
Hey, that's what we're saying in Cleveland too. It's cold here too, man.
Yeah, but it's Cleveland and it's orange and brown.
Yeah, well, and just to throw salt in the wound, you were talking about stats, and Roethlisberger was 26-3-1 against the Browns. So I'm not sure we've even won 26 games in the last 20 years. So I don't know.
That's pretty impressive record. I appreciate, Baker letting Ben have that last one. I appreciate it. And also to rub more salt in the wound, OBJ is doing really well.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful off season already for the Browns.
Yeah, man.
NFL season's not even over yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this weekend.
It's going to be a good one. I mean, divisional round weekend was probably the best weekend of football I maybe have ever watched.
And I didn't watch it from the beginning to end, which kind of stinks.
I missed the third quarter of the Bucs Rams because it was like 27-3 at halftime, and I was like, over. I forgot about
Tom Brady,
the Falcons in the Super Bowl. 27-3 is nothing.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Quickly, I don't want to harp on this, but I just listened to a video today. I don't know if you remember a player named Dwight Smith who returned 2 interceptions for TDs, I guess, against the Raiders back in 2002.
Okay.
With my quarterback coach as Tom Brady's quarterback coach, Stan Parrish. There was an interview, and he was basically, he started out by implying that the NBA's fixed and rigged. And then he just flat out just said it.
Say what you mean.
Yeah, so I just want to put that out in the world. Comment down below what you think. I'm not going to give my 2 cents because, being a professional athlete, I just can't believe that that's a thing and he literally played, so I don't know. I don't want to talk about it, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your opinion. Maybe if people comment, maybe I'll give my opinion. We'll see. But yeah, so I'm scared, to be honest. I'm scared who's the quarterback going to be for the Steelers.
Me too.
I don't even think Kenny Pickett, the quarterback from University of Pitt, will even be there. I don't know. It's not a good year for quarterbacks, so that's another reason that scared me. But hey, we got somebody. And that could be that's going to be a free agent that we could pick up, and their nickname is famous.
Oh, hey man, go for it.
It's not a good sign when the rival team's like, yeah, do it. Just like you guys are like, yeah, Baltimore, pick up Antonio Brown.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
See, I don't know. I'm not totally in cahoots with your guys' opinion, Antonio Brown. I know he's, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't want to, if he does turn out to be good, I want to be like, see, I wasn't on,
Yeah. So the opinion of Antonio Brown being, well, I don't know if you really even just call it an opinion. He's a different person.
Yeah.
Different dude.
He's from the pit, not the palace.
I don't know. It's just
Did you hear that song?
No.
That's the song that he released the day after he took his clothes off.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. See, but my thing though is he is going to be, I believe, a 34-year-old wide receiver in the NFL, and I mean, not that he's not still talented and everything, but just historically, you don't see receivers succeed. I mean, honestly,
you don't see football players.
True, unless you're Tom Brady. I mean, quarterbacks can usually go later in their 30s, kickers and punters and things like that, but positions that just take a beating the way like running backs and receivers do. 34 is just, you've had a good long career. Yeah.
He needs another bag, though. He looks like he wants another bag. I don't know what he wants. But anyways, I just want to state that I'm afraid. And if I said this, I don't know if I should say this on YouTube, but I'm going to. I will stop being a Steelers fan if Mason Rudolph starts game 1. Unless we sign someone and they got hurt. If we just flat out, Mike Tomlin says, here's our starter, I will contemplate. I'm changing. I'm contemplating.
I am rooting for Mason Rudolph as the starter of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2022 because I think he's the best possible quarterback you guys could put out there.
That's currently on the roster.
I just meant for the Browns' chances of beating you guys next year. He's terrible, man. That dude is not good.
What if he just comes out and stuns everybody and it just throws for like 4,500 yards, 30 TDs, 5 interceptions?
Then stunning
and we
people
go to the Super Bowl.
The least we're going to say about it. Yeah.
But, yeah, we all get back to saying, thank you, Ben. There were some ups and some downs in your career, but, you know.
Hall of Famer.
Yep, Hall of Famer, no doubt. Better career than Eli Manning. No doubt. Mm-hmm. I saw debate. Stephen A. and Dan Orlovsky were talking about that. Dan Orlovsky was saying Eli Manning had the better career because of the moments.
Okay. I mean, I guess argue all you want.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, Ben had his moments too.
Yeah.
But Eli Manning had 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Does that matter?
Not to me. I mean, Ben
it matters more in basketball because they play 6 games, well, possibly 7 games. Mm-hmm. But
and there's also, I mean, you got, if you're not going to count your special teams units, you got 22 players that you need to win a Super Bowl.
True.
So to give an MVP, sometimes a guy could end up with 3 sacks. Quarterback had 300 yards and a couple touchdowns, but they give it to the defensive guy.
Yeah.
The MVP is not as, like you said, NBA. Yeah, that's bigger because there's only really 5 guys on the team out there running around.
And you played more games, so to get NBA Finals MVP means more than just one game.
You did it multiple times. Yeah.
You dominated the series.
Yep.
But, and I got to stop. Why do I do that?
Smack those lips?
Yeah, stop it. If that annoys you, comment down below. No, I'm joking.
That's why I didn't wear my earphones today.
I was recording our commercial with WJR this morning, and they had to cut out a lot of those things. I was just like, I don't know why I do it, but I do it. Didn't do it that time.
No, you didn't. Well done.
But now I want to get into the big discussion. And this is where I really want to hear from people who listen, whether it's through a Facebook message or comment down below. I'm curious because I know this is controversial. This is polarizing topic, and that's the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, and the voting process. So let's just start off by saying David Ortiz is in. First year on the ballot. You need 75% votes. He had 77 point something. Barry Bonds, who has 7 MVPs, most all time. Roger Clemens, 7 Cy Youngs, most all time. Curt Schilling, 3-time World Series winner, great pitcher. Sammy Sosa, top 10 in home runs all time, are not going into the Hall of Fame, and that was their last year on the ballot. So supposedly in May, there's another chance. I don't know. But the official way to get into the Hall of Fame, they are not getting in the official way. And Roger Clemens released a statement, and I'm going to quote it. I don't want to get it wrong. So let me quote this. My family and I put the Hall of Fame in the rearview mirror 10 years ago. I didn't play baseball to get into the Hall of Fame. So for me, I think they all, well, I don't know, maybe not Sammy. I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like they all should be in. Kurt's numbers are right on the borderline, but I think he was a prominent pitcher in my lifetime. So I think he should be in there. Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. Like they were, even if they didn't, they were going to be in though. That's my thing. I know they ended up doing it, or I guess there's not even proof that they did it. There's just.
So why don't you just explain? Just give a quick, summary.
All right. I'm so worked up.
I know.
So they've had 10 years on the ballot to get into the Hall of Fame. They're clearly top players all time, way better than 99% of Hall of Famers. The reason they're not getting the votes is because of the performance enhancing drug era. And I don't know if none of these players had, well, Sammy, he had some other things. He had a cork bat and he had some other stuff going on. But it hasn't been, I guess, Barry Bonds has never admitted, Roger Clemens has never admitted that they have taken steroids or performance enhancing drugs on purpose or anything like that. But the other dynamic is David Ortiz was on the Mitchell Report, which was a report that was supposed to be anonymous of players who had failed drug tests for the PEDs. And so you guys know the drug test in the MLB is not for drugs of abuse, marijuana and stuff like that. It's just for performance enhancers. So David Ortiz was apparently on the list, but commissioner of the MLB says, forget about it. He's fine. So his first year on the ballot, he's in. We all know Barry Bonds is better than David Ortiz. He should be in the Hall. Roger Clemens, arguably best pitcher ever, should be in the Hall. It's being a baseball player for my whole life. It's a subject that I never thought I was gonna have to be like, oh yeah, Barry Bonds should be in. It's for me, in my perspective, that's like saying, hey, should Michael Jordan be in the Hall of Fame? If you're just looking at their play, obviously. Barry Bonds, most home runs all time. Barry Bonds once got walked with the bases loaded. I want that to sink in. So the bases, there was a guy on first, second, and third. It was a 2-run game. His team was down, and they were so afraid of him hitting a grand slam and winning the game, they walked a run in to make it 8-7 and try their odds on the next hitter, which I think might have been Jeff Kent or something like that, who's obviously a good hitter as well, but obviously not Barry Bonds. And I think that's the only time that's ever happened in history, probably will be the only time ever. And he has the records for most walks in a single season, maybe even a career. I'm not sure. I know he's like close to 3,000 walks in his career. People were just scared of him. Now, I want to share this with you, Josh, because I thought this was interesting. So we'll get back on who should be in a second. But before Barry Bonds was, speculated for taking PEDs, he was leading the league in steals and had a high batting average and was still hitting 40 home runs. But McGwire and Sosa were hitting 60 and 70 home runs. And people knew that, they were taking performance enhancers. So if other people on it, pitchers are on it, other hitters, they're getting money, they're getting all the praise. A lot of people say Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa kept baseball alive after the strike and there was no World Series that year. If you're Barry Bonds thinking, I'm better than these guys, even without the performance enhancers, what are you going to do? So that's one other thing I want to put out there. Not excusing anything, even if he did or not. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying I don't care. It's not like he's only great because of that.
It's a very, very valid point.
And I heard two dudes talk today. Tim Kirchin, who's a voter, and Terrence, I think his name is Terrence Jones or Terrence. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
But he is a voter as well. And he's also a sports writer on Forbes and has a book coming out about Hank Aaron's life. So I'm going to be reading that. He said that one of the rules in the Hall of Fame voting is integrity and what's the other word he used? Integrity and I guess behavior or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Fluffy fluff.
Yeah. I mean, obviously integrity brings in cheating, but there's people in the hall that cheated as well.
What'd you just say about David Ortiz?
Yeah, he was on the on the Mitchell report, but it's just it's a weird thing, man. And some of the voters even say, "Hey, we got this wrong." Tim Kirchner said he didn't vote for Bonds the first 9 years that Bonds was on the ballot, but he did this last year. Okay. And the Terrence guy from Forbes said he hasn't voted for Curt Schilling because he didn't think he had the numbers, and that he did not vote for Bonds, I don't believe, just because of the integrity part. So it's
I mean, obviously I, like you, grew up watching Bonds and you know, McGwire and Sosa, and I remember those home run races. I remember those years when baseball was just beyond exciting.
Yes.
You know, and I don't know. I feel like we make a mistake if we don't look at time periods in sports and eras, and that was the home run era. You know, they talk the PED era or whatever. It was the home run era.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it was, I don't know, it was the way the game was, like you said.
It's just it's a weird situation.
It is, and you think about how many hundreds of ball players go through the league every year. Yeah, you know that they play a little bit one year and then they never come back into the league again. And some guys are up there for 15.
Percy Garner. No.
Okay, fine. Or you know they're in there for 15 years, and yes. When you have a player who wins 7 MVPs and is he the all-time leader in home runs?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, come on. I mean, these guys. Okay, if he did take PEDs or whatever, I mean, these guys still only come around once in a generation.
Yeah, and I feel like the PEDs maybe helped him hit the ball 450 feet instead of 400.
This is true.
I mean, I don't know. So my experience, and I've talked with players while I was playing professional ball, and we got tested rigorously. And I probably don't have to say this, but I never failed a test. Let me just say that out there. And we've had players who admittedly took steroids, and they tell you the effects. Okay. And the positives. They've told me negatives too. Like one player literally kicked his wife out of the car and made her fly home. Like never contacted her. He was on a roid rage, kicked her out of the car and just said, get out, and didn't say anything to her until he called her and she was at home. So yeah, middle of nowhere. It wasn't like they were at the hotel and he kicked her out of the car. They're just driving and he just said, get out. That's the negatives. But the positives, you basically, for a pitcher, because that's, I know best, you basically feel like you have a brand new arm every day, because we all know baseball is very rigorous. Basketball as well too, but baseball, 162 games. And as a pitcher, you don't play in every game, but position player, like a Barry Bonds, you play every day. And you literally might get 1-2 days off a month, maybe. And granted, you're making a lot of money. I'm not trying to say, Phil, what was these baseball players? No, I'm just saying it was a grind. So the PEDs helped him come to the field ready to go. If he took them, I'm not saying Barry Bonds took the PEDs, but if he took them, they helped you recover injuries, helps you be able to work out more because you can recover faster from your workouts. And it helps you, perform every night. I will say that. And maybe he's a little tired or something like that if he's not taking PEDs. But before he took PEDs, he still hit 40 home runs. Now, I know the season that he went off, he ended up hitting 73, but we've seen things happen like that before. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's wrong that these guys are in the Hall of Fame? Actually, I want to bring up A-Rod. A-Rod, this was his first year on the ballot. He didn't get in. I think he was at, I want to say either 30 or 50% or something like that in around that area. So it's voters voted for him to get in. So he's starting low. I think he's 34%. He's starting low, and he's got 9 years to try to get up there. But
wait, so David Ortiz made it in on the first year, but A-Rod didn't even make it halfway to the percent he needed?
Nope.
So what was A-Rod's deal?
He's PEDs as well.
Linked to that too?
Yeah. And he's just known as not being a very, I guess that word in integrity. Now he's giving people money advice and business advice on TV, but you know how we are. Sometimes, you know, we forget what happened, but he was known as a kind of like I guess I'll just say it, a jerk. I guess he's just known as a jerk.
Okay.
And, you know, obviously had the PED usage. For me, I think he should be in on first ballot too. I think these guys, you know, Barry and Roger and A-Rod are first ballot Hall of Famers. But
the personality thing is weird to me. And I think you said something before the show about Terrell Owens in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
And it would almost be like trying to hold Aaron Rodgers out of the Hall of Fame because, he was kind of a jerk.
Yeah. He held out.
Okay. But he was awesome. Like, look.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was kind of a jerk. Whatever. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. The fact that's even a thing.
Right.
Now, I can understand if he was, you know, doing, I hate to bring this up, but murdering people or, you know, domestic violence at home or just stuff like that.
Right.
But Terrell Owens wasn't doing that. Obviously, we don't know the history of any of these players. Barry Bonds never got in legal trouble.
You going to hold Michael Jordan out of the Hall of Fame because he was a trash talker? You know, at what level do we take the personality and the jerkness, whatever you want to call it, of people?
I like the scale, jerk scale.
Yeah, the jerk scale. It's just one of those things. Once you start on that path, it's just, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to like where you end up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, I would say. I don't know if I'm assuming they care. Roger Clemens came out and said he doesn't, obviously, with that quote I just read. But this brings me even to another one. Because we talked about what you just said, you know, our voters being consistent. Because I heard Tim Kirchin say they have different, not labels, but different parts where they put them. So David Ortiz is in this area because he was on the Mitchell Report, but he was expunged by the commissioner. Then you have Curt Schilling, who didn't get in because of I guess he had hate speech on his social media, and the personality thing comes in. And then you have Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens over here in their own little area. So they're getting the, we don't want you in the hall treatment. Kurt's like, we don't want you in the hall treatment, not because PEDs, but because of old tweets. I don't know. And then David Ortiz is in this area saying, hey, you were expunged. There's a little bit of iffiness in there, but you made it. Barely. So that's how he explained it. And it made it easier to understand why they are doing certain things. But he's like, it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And he's like, I don't want you feeling bad for me for being a Hall of Fame voter, but it's really hard. Is what he was saying. And I'm just like, man, I bet. Because after he says he turns his ballot is finished, he's just like, wait, did I get that right? Like, and he doesn't think he got it right. So should we get new voters that think they got it right or are confident in their position? I don't know, but I think it's leading to this next thing because I think there's another person that's in their own boat. Now I want to bring this in. We talk about all these YouTube channels, all these big networks, podcasts. You know, baseball is obviously sponsored by DraftKings or whatever. All these gambling things are a part of all these sports now. And we still have someone sitting out of the Hall of Fame who's greatest hitter of all time, like all around hitter, Pete Rose. And I feel like we need to revisit that. I feel like there should be a special, it's just like, it's kind of messed up. Like, I can understand if he voted against his team and threw the game. But that was not the case. I mean, I guess we don't know, but that's what we're on his word. But they didn't lose. So it doesn't matter. And I think a lot of people would be on my side saying that Pete Rose needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, let's just stop. Like, I'm running out of things to say about this. It's just, come on. That's all I can say.
Come on.
Come on, man. But, I mean, it's just everywhere now. Oh, I got to sneeze.
Oh, there it goes. Ooh. I hope I held everybody over for that.
Did you switch it to you?
No, I made sure they got to watch it, but they got to listen to me.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
But, oh, wait, I got another one.
All right, fine here. You gonna sneeze or what?
I think we're good. But I just think it's something that we need to figure out a more concrete way to figure out who needs to go in the Hall of Fame. But I'm curious. Barry Bonds didn't make a comment, but I'm curious. He seems like the type that doesn't care. He knows what type of player he was. Mm-hmm. We all know as fans what type of player he was. Same with Roger Clemens. We know what type of players they were. We're not. It's weird because it's almost like the Heisman club. It's like the Hall of Fame club. It's like an exclusive club. We don't want to let you in. It's just like, come on now.
It's like, yeah, and I agree with you. You got to pick your parameters and just stick to them.
Yeah. Same with like Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
Now that this name, image, likeness thing.
Yeah.
And they won't give him his Heisman back. He's clearly one of the greatest college football players ever.
Which always blew my mind that how can you take away somebody's Heisman award? Like, they won it. I mean, you can say, oh, well, we're taking it away.
And he didn't take performance enhancers.
Yeah, right. But it's like that's great, but I still won it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can take it away. I mean, I'll give you the trophy, but I still won.
But I like how Vince Young said he didn't want it. When they were going to give it to him, he's like, no.
No, but with the parameters thing, and I want to go back to like the jerky thing, right?
Yeah.
The jerk scale. Like, PEDs, I understand it's a messy subject that needs to get figured out, whatever. But if you're going to look at somebody who has great numbers, Hall of Fame, eligible numbers, but you're like, they were kind of a jerk or whatever, personality issues, tweet, whatever you want to say about them. So then at what point do you look at a guy and say, well, his numbers were horrible, but he was a stand-up guy. I mean, just the best dude, super charitable.
There's probably some of those in the Hall of Fame.
He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I know he didn't have the numbers, but he's a great guy.
Or if they're on the cusp, like close.
Yeah, exactly.
Their numbers aren't better, like in that echelon, but
he was a great guy. So if you're going to sway it in favor of personality one way, don't you also have to do it then the other way?
Yeah.
That's why it does bother me.
Yeah.
The way they. Yeah.
Well,
yep.
I think it's good to end on where do you guys stand? Let me know, what you guys think, because this is a fun and exhausting topic. It kind of hit me. I wasn't like ooh, Hall of Fame's coming up. I wasn't really like that. I was just like, oh, okay, we got the Hall of Fame. It wouldn't even hit me that this was their last year to be on the ballot. And then I heard that and I was like, oh, this is criminal. Anyways, let's end with that. Let's see what you guys think. Think about Pete Rose. Do them all individually. Pete Rose, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Sammy Sosa, Curt Schilling. Let me know and see. I know every Boston fan is going to say David Ortiz deserves to be in, but if you're not a Boston fan, just what do you think about David Ortiz coming in the Hall of Fame, first year on the ballot? And are the voters being consistent? No, but are the voters? What do you think? This is your opinion. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sway you. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me and Josh banter about this Hall of Fame and the Steelers quarterback situation. Like, subscribe. Liking the video will help us get this in front of other people's eyes. And I appreciate everyone who tunes in every week. And we appreciate the support here. Thank you again to Subway for making this podcast possible. And I'm looking forward to what I'm going to get next week from Subway. But anyways, if you haven't, go to Subway. Check it out. They got a whole bunch of new items. And until next time, Peace.
I got a crib by the water. Say me casa su casa. It feel like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. I got a crib by the water. Say me